water baptized. I'm gonna have to do all that. Yeah, I took a shot at you. Real shot. All right, we're gonna get started. Anybody got any cell phones? You put them on mute or vibrate. Well, we were just looking at some pictures of Jerusalem. It's kind of what the lesson gonna be about. I'm gonna give you the title. The title of the lesson is The Promised Land and Who It Is Promised to. The Promised Land and who it is promised to. First and foremost, we always like to give praise and honor to the God of Israel, of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Today is the Lord's Sabbath day. We are meeting here at 1604 East Oglethorpe Boulevard in Albany, Georgia. If you want to come out, we're here every Saturday at 1 o'clock p.m. sharp. 1 o'clock p.m. sharp. But get to the lesson. The Promised Land. Most of our people, which are the Israelites, don't understand that the land that God promised was directed to our forefathers' seed. Our forefathers are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But we have been taught a lie in the church that the promised land that we are trying to get to is heaven. Or the promised land we are trying to get to, where some people just want land, period, 40 acres in a mule or whatever, reparation or whatever. But they never give thought to where God said, what God said about giving us the land. The earth gonna be here forever. It's never gonna be destroyed at all. Only thing Jesus gonna do when he get back to this earth, he gonna clean it up. He gonna make it like a paradise. But our people's mindset is stuck elsewhere trying to obtain property in this land. And also, they're trying to get to heaven. And I'm gonna prove that's a lie. You can't go to heaven. You'll never go to heaven, period. The only heaven that you're gonna go up to is the second heaven where the clouds are, if you're holy enough to get your heavenly body. But this lesson is put together to try to make our people understand that the promised land, which is Jerusalem, God promised to his people and the seed of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jerusalem is the headquarters of the world. That was everything gonna be, everybody gonna have to come up to Jerusalem. And he gonna hand out different, he gonna delegate authority amongst his people. Just like you see the white people running right now, there's no shot at the white people. They run the whole world. But it's going to be our turn in a 1,000-year millennium period. We're going to run the whole world. We're going to have the money. We're going to have everything. But if your minister's not teaching you that the promised land that you're looking for is in the land here on earth, you'll miss it. You won't get an opportunity to get it. Your promised land is not out in heaven, period. You're not going up there in the third heavens, period. You got three heavens. One you're standing on, the second heaven is where the clouds are, the third heaven where God and the Father, God and Jesus and the holy angels. No one will go in that third heaven, period. He's trying to get back here with us. He loved Jerusalem. He wants to dwell with us in Jerusalem. He wants us to understand that we are going to dwell with him there. But if our mentality is not on the promised land and who is given to, we will miss it. We will miss it. So we're going to turn to Isaiah chapter 1 to get started, because Israel don't care about this. All Israel care about is some money. All Israel care about is some clothes and some cars. I'm trying to be a God. I hope you're trying to be one. But we got to understand that this promised land was given to our ancestors, which is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the 12 tribes of Israel. We are the ones that go to run it. But we don't give a care about this at all. They think it's boring. Oh, I know that, Jeff. But can you teach it to somebody? The problem is not knowing, but teaching, action. That's what I want to know. Can you do it? I know that. Get tired of people saying that to me. I know that. Okay. Show me in the scripture where you can find it at the end. Can't find it. Can't teach it. But you know it. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3. Israel don't care. Let me show you. Go ahead.
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel do not know, my people do not consider.
Israel don't even consider this, the promised land. You know why? Because they got a whole doctrine out there called left behind, caught up in the heavens with God, gonna be a secret rapture. All that stuff is lies that been taught on Trinity broadcasts. Used to listen to that stuff all the time. Grew up in it. But we got to understand that we got to consider the operation of God to be a part of his kingdom. If we don't consider that, we can't be a part. God can't give you a job if you don't know what your job responsibility is. And if you think your job responsibility go to fly from Venus, Saturn, Mars, you are sadly mistaken because he's going to destroy all of that. He's going to wipe it out. He's going to remove it like a curtain. Just picture this. The earth is a globe. Just picture you got a mason jar with some water in it. Just put a ball inside of the mason jar. That's how the earth is. It's surrounded with water. And outside of the mason jar, like I'm outside of the mason jar, that's how God and the angels are. They stand outside. They wait until everything being fulfilled in this Bible to step in and say, remove all that water, all that atmosphere, and now you can see actually where they dwell. You're not going there. He's trying to get to this earth. But go ahead.
For our sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel to anger. They are gone away backward.
This is our people when they're going away backwards. You're provoking the Lord when you say you're going to the heavens. You're provoking him. But all he said about the promised land, you just nodded boy like, I don't care, I'm going up there with it. Only person that said that was the devil. He trying to get back there because he was made there. And he's not going to get back there. So if you follow that doctrine, you follow the devil doctrine. Go ahead.
Why should ye be stricken any more? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint.
The whole head is sick, meaning that who's the head of this doctrine that's been put out here? The Sunday preacher. Sick. If they're not teaching you about the promised land, they're teaching you about going to heaven, is sick. The earth is going to be here forever. Go ahead.
6. From the sole of the feet.
Pull the mic from your mouth.
6. From the sole of the foot, even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and purifying sores. They have not
purifying sores.
Purifying sores that have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. All right,
now I want you to calm down. Don't be listening to me read this book. Just calm down and read it. Read that over. Verse 6. Go ahead.
From the sole of the feet, from the sole of the foot, even unto the head, there is no soundness in it.
What do you mean soundness? There's no doctrine of this book in the man that's leading you. If you say you're going out beyond, as the song say, there is no sound doctrine in you. You think you're going dwelling in the third. I always have to say the third, because the second heaven where we're going to get our bodies from, if we found blessed in the first resurrection. Go ahead.
But wounds and bruises and putrefying sores, they have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment.
Go ahead.
Your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence. and it is desolate.
Go ahead.
As overthrown by strangers.
He said, your countries are desolate, your cities are burned with fire, your land of strangers, the strangers devoured in your presence. We read that to most people in these churches, they don't know what you're talking about. What land? You look over there in the Middle East or in Jerusalem, you'll see they warn every day to try to get your land, and you don't even care about it. People don't even understand it. Our twin brother Esau and Abraham's first son Ishmael are fighting over the land. The Arabs. They fight. When you ask Israel about it, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm waiting on the heaven, waiting on the rapture. They don't understand. This is what God's saying, look, they don't even consider. And this is very, very important. Go ahead.
And the daughters of Zion is left as a cottage in the vineyard.
Yes, sir.
As a lodge in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city.
I mean, you left without any protection at all. Just want to make sure everybody understands this, that Israel don't consider. Their land is being destroyed. Their land is being taken over. They don't care. And it's the promised land that God promised our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But they promise is on heaven. I'm going to let Jesus tell you ain't going to heaven. Let's go to John chapter 8. John chapter 8, verse 21. I just can't say it. What you mean, Jeff? I'm going to be caught up. You better figure out which heaven you're going to be caught up in. But you're coming right back down to this earth if you're blessed enough to be in the first resurrection. If you talk about the rapture, that don't even concern you. That don't even concern you at all. John chapter 8, we're going to start at verse 21. Let Jesus tell you that you ain't going to heaven. Go ahead.
Then said Jesus again unto them, I go my way, and ye shall seek me, and shall die in your sins.
Yes, sir.
Whither I go, ye cannot come.
Where did Jesus go after he died and was resurrected up? He went back to the heavens, sit at the right hand of his Father. He said, where I go, you can't come. Go ahead.
Then said the Jews, will he kill himself? Because he said, whither I go, ye cannot come.
It's the same stuff they telling us. They don't understand that the mysteries or the prophecies in the Bible, how God said, look, he going to go sit at the right hand of the Father. When he comes back, he going to come right to Jerusalem with his people. And we're going to dwell there forever. Go ahead. 23.
And he said unto them,
watch this though. Go ahead.
Ye are from beneath.
You are from beneath? Go ahead.
I am from above. Ye are of this world. I am not of this world.
What he telling us is, why is he telling us this? You from beneath. I'm from that world out there in the third heaven. You can't come. You can't come. I built this earth for you to inhabit it. This is the promised land. And we're going to find out Jerusalem is the headquarters where everybody go up and get their marching orders to do what God tells them to do. We finished with that?
Yes, sir.
Let me show you what Jesus said about we're going to inherit the earth. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 1. I'm going to be in the New Testament a little bit, but I got to get to that old. Some people say I spend too much time in the old. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 1. The promised land, God hasn't given it to his people, but his people are rejecting it with all this false doctrine. It promised to us. Matthew chapter 5, verse 1. Go ahead.
And seeing the multitude, he went up into a mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came unto him.
Go ahead.
And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed art the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
So this is what Jesus is teaching them. He said, blessed are the poor in spirit. Theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Go ahead. Automatically, most people say, oh, the kingdom of heaven. You're going out there in the third heaven with God. You don't understand the book if you don't understand these three heavens. Go ahead.
4. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted.
Yes, sir. Ain't you mourning? He's talking about us. He's talking about us. We are mourning right now. If you don't know, understand that, turn on your television and see how these kids be killed in the street. how they being persecuted, how we been last our first fire. All this stuff is written about us. Go ahead.
Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
No, they should inherit heaven. Earth. Earth right now. We're going to inherit the earth when he comes back. He's going to put all rulership under our hand, on our hands. We're going to run it. But you think we're going to Venus, Jupiter, Mars, soaring all these solar systems? Stop looking at Star Trek. That stuff ain't real. Warp speed. Come out the moon, got a star that's 1,000 years away. Come on, man, where you get this from? How you know it's 1,000 years away? This is stuff they tell us. We believe it. They ain't been to the moon, they're just telling you it's out there. Another moon beside the moon we see. I'm gonna stick with the book. I'm not saying it's not another moon, not another star. It is. But they can't tell you it's 1,000 years in the future. But this is what he's saying. He said, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. This is the promised land, an earth. He's going to put it in a particular spot. Jump down to verse 12. Go ahead.
Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven.
Great is your reward in heaven. Folks think, well, we got to go up to heaven and get it. They thinking about the third heaven of God. Oh, your reward in heaven. What is in heaven? Your heavenly body. That's what you want. And also, on the 8th day, when the Father going to bring the tabernacle down, that's what we're going to talk about, to this earth, where the Father and Jesus is going to be upon this earth. Go ahead.
For so persecuted they, the prophets, which were before you.
Yes, sir. They persecuting us now, right? You tell them that they ain't going to heaven. They're going to persecute you. You ain't nothing but a devil. I'm going to heaven. I don't care what you say. That's what most people think. Ask your grandma about that. Ask your mom. Go ahead.
Ye are the salt of the earth.
You're the salt of the earth. Meaning that what you're going to tell them is not, it's going to bite them real good. You know how you put this salt hit a wound? It hurt, don't it? But every time you give them the truth, it's going to hurt. You the salt. But Israel has lost its flavor. They don't care. They're just regular, ordinary people. Don't nobody respect them as the chosen people that God promised the land to. Go ahead.
But if the salt have lost its savor,
yes, sir.
Wherewith shall it be salt? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be tried under the foot of men.
That's how most of the Israelites are going to be. They're going to be cast out of the kingdom. Because the salt has lost its flavor. They ain't popular, so they want to get popular with people and then lose sight of what God tells them. Especially about the land. Especially about the land. But he says something, your reward in heaven. Let's see that reward. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. What is that reward in heaven? You got to really break stuff down for people. Because they'll build a doctrine on one sentence. One sentence. Your reward is in heaven. What is that reward? 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. We'll start at verse 14. Go ahead.
For we believe that Jesus died and rose again.
Yes, sir.
Even so them also which sleep in Jesus will God bring with him.
Yes, sir. So we're talking about the first resurrection now. The one that sleep in God will bring with him. Go ahead.
For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain until the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep.
But they tell us that your grandma in heaven, right? They tell them that your auntie in heaven. She looking down on me. I talked to her last night. That's my mama. I know my mama. My mama know what kind of drawers I wear. That's my mama. This demon spirit would say stuff like that. Any little thing to get in your mind. Any little thing that you and only your mama know. These are familiar spirits. Familiar. They are familiar with everything that you do. They are listening to every prayer. They are listening to everything you say. The conversation you have between your mama, they got it downloaded. They just sleep. They just sleep. The mama sleep right now. She's not in heaven. We're waiting for this. But this is the reward. Go ahead.
16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven.
Yes, sir.
With a shout, with the voice of an archangel.
Yes, sir.
And with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first.
This is what he tells the Lord with a shout. This is the seventh trump. And when he shout this out, something's going to happen. Go ahead.
Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds.
No, in heaven, right?
Clouds.
In the clouds. Go ahead.
To meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord.
So all we did was meet him in the air. That was the meeting spot. Meet him. We're going to meet him in the air. And guess what we're going to do after meet him in the air? We're going to come right back down to this earth. We're going to show you that. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 14. Zechariah 14. The promised land is here. But if you don't understand that you're not going out beyond in the heavens, this will fly past you like a blink of an eye. With a blink of an eye. Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 1. Then we're going to skip to 4. Let's see what Jesus is going to be. Because he said we're going to be with the Lord. Both of them going out in heaven. Verse 1, go ahead.
Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee.
So we're talking about the day of the Lord. That seventh trump we just read in 1 Thessalonians when he comes. That's the day of the Lord. The resurrection, the first resurrection. Verse 4, go ahead.
And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east.
So where is Jesus going to be when he comes back down? A Mount of Olives. His feet going to be right there. And whoever in Jerusalem at the time, if you're not in the wilderness, he's going to destroy it all. He's going to kill everything in Jerusalem when he get there, because he said, the blood shall come up to the what? The horse's brow. It's going to be a lot of blood. Go ahead.
And the Mount of, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west.
Yes, sir.
And there shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove toward the north, and half of it toward the south.
He's going to flatten it. That's all he's saying, destroy the Mount of Olives. Go ahead.
And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains. For the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azal, yea.
Yes, sir.
Ye shall flee, like as ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah. And the Lord my God shall come, and all the saints with thee.
So where you get them saints from? We just read in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. The first resurrection. When he comes, will catch us up in the clouds, he's going to come right back down to the Mount of Olives, which where the promised land is, which where he's going to dwell, right here. But most of the people don't know that. They think they're going straight out to heaven. Just want people to understand the promised land and who it belongs to. Now let's go find out something about who it belongs to. Let's go to Genesis chapter 9. We finished with that? Oh, jump down to verse 6. 6, go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in that day,
okay, go ahead,
that the light shall not be clear nor dark, but it shall be one day which shall be known to the Lord, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light.
Understand this, it's not going to be such thing as day and night no more. It's going to be light 24/7. Nobody ain't going to be able to go to sleep. Well, the ones upon the earth that are God's, we don't have to sleep. He's going to change all this, what we see today. Go ahead.
And it shall be in that day that living water shall go out from Jerusalem.
This is where the promised land is. Jerusalem. This is what we're trying to get to. Right here. Not trying to get to Atlanta so I can live a better life. I'm going to start over, be good. You better be trying to get to an Israelite camp and keep your nose in this book. They got one in Atlanta, but you ain't going to Atlanta for that. You going to party. Going for a career and all that stuff. You know what I'm talking about? People be some crazy stuff. Like, they going to be better life. Believe me, you go to Atlanta, they got East Auburn in Atlanta. You go to California, they got the East Auburn in California. It's the hood, and our people going to be right there. Every time. Israel Israelites. But anyway, I don't know who that for, but keep going.
Half of them toward the former sea.
Yes, sir.
Half of them toward the hinder sea. In summer and in winter shall it be.
Yes, sir.
And the Lord shall be king over all the earth. In that day shall there be one Lord, and his name one.
So he said the Lord shall be king upon all the earth. The Lord ain't king upon all the earth right now. This is his coming. He come back to set up his headquarters in Jerusalem, and he's going to be king right there. He's going to set up the whole thing, and we're going to run it from Jerusalem, his chosen people. The nations got this their turn. The white, the Europeans, the China, the fake Jews, all that. This their time. They run. Stop trying to think you're gonna get some land or whatever it is. You're not. You're not. We don't own nothing. We never will. I don't care if we pay it off. You still got to pay Mr. Charlie taxes. Never own it. Even I paid my shop off, I still got to pay Charlie taxes every year. If I don't pay him, guess what? Charlie gonna take it. Never own it. But when we get in Jerusalem at the time, he's going to separate our land from all the 12 tribes of Israel. And the only thing we're going to do is come up for the feast days, enjoy ourselves. No taxes from Caesars no more. But most people want to stay in the land like it's a good life. Stop living a fairy tale, it ain't no good life. But this is when the Lord will be king upon the earth, and this is the spot of the promised land, which is in Jerusalem. On Mount Sinai, he gonna clean it all up. You finished with that now? Go ahead.
10. All the land shall be turned as a plain from Geba to Rimmon,
yes, sir,
south of Jerusalem, and it shall be lifted up and inhabited in her place.
What he said, it shall be lifted up and inhabited in her place. He's gonna bring his people to the land. Go ahead.
From Benjamin's gate unto the place of the first gate,
yes, sir,
unto the corner gate, and from the tower of Hanel until the king's wine presses.
What that man talking about? Benjamin Gate? Yeah, it's gonna be the 12 tribes of Israel. They ain't gonna be on the gates. He gonna set it up. Listen to the Lord's Prayer. He want to set up just like he said in the Lord's Prayer. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Where you think the 12 gates in Revelation chapter 24, where you think they get them from? Where you think we get them from? We get them from the New Jerusalem. They're going to come down out the sky from the Father. We're going to have 12 gates with the names of Israel on it. This is blind to the world. Go ahead.
And men shall dwell in it.
Yes, sir.
And there shall be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited.
This ain't happened yet. Jerusalem going to be safe for us to dwell. You ain't got to put 12 locks on your door. You ain't got to have all the security cameras all over your house, all the security with your locking the cars and all. You can do everything. You ain't got to worry about that. You're going to be safely. This is the promised land that most of the world don't understand, and most of our Israelite people will not get in it. You know why? Because that doctrine in their head of going to heaven. Now let's see who it was promised to. Like I said, the title, let's go to Genesis chapter 9. Like I said, the title is the promised land and who it was promised to. This is a set of people. We're going to be in Genesis for a minute. Genesis chapter 9, verse 18. Let's see who he promised it to. Let's go back and understand the promised land. Because God cannot break his covenant with his people. He cannot. And he will not. But his people will break his covenant with him. Because they don't know. They don't consider. Genesis 9, verse 18. Go ahead.
And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan.
By these three boys, after the flood, they populated the whole world. Every nation upon this earth came out of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And we're looking at Shem. That's where our forefathers came from, which is Abraham. Go ahead.
These are the three sons of Noah, and them was the whole earth overspread.
What do you mean overspread? Populated. everybody came from these three boys. And the chosen seed is with Shem. Let's go to Genesis chapter 11, verse 10. If it seems like a moving fast, got a lot to cover. I know y'all attention span ain't good. Genesis chapter 11,